Money Talks.
Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Hi, my name is Ibukun Oyedeji, President CFA Society Nigeria. Join me and a host of other financial industry practitioners every Monday at 4:30 p.m. right here on Inspiration 92.3 FM for Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria.
Money Talks, airing on this station every Monday at 4:30 p.m. from January 2023. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
If you've made a decision to aim for a long-term and successful finance career, taking the Chartered Financial Analyst CFA exam and studying the curriculum is an excellent way to ensure you have a strong knowledge base and top-notch skills. Are you ready to take the bold step to invest in yourself? CFA Society Nigeria is at your disposal, promoting the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria. As an affiliate of CFA Institute, CFA Society Nigeria seeks to promote the highest standards of investment practice in Nigeria and to provide a vibrant community in which its members and other key players in the investment industry can interact and grow. When you have the CFA Charter, you're globally recognized. Take advantage today by writing the CFA exam and joining us at CFA Society Nigeria. For more information, visit us at cfasocietyng.org. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Money Talks.
Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money. Hello everyone and welcome to Money Talks here on 92.3 Inspiration FM. Smart Uzechi is my name and it's so good to have you on the program this evening. Money Talks is brought to you by CFA Society Nigeria and is a financial literacy program by that organization. Today my guest on the program is Chuka Maduabum, CFA. And Chuka is going to be discussing with me how to set up sustainable businesses. That's what we're talking about this evening. Chuka, good evening to you and welcome to Money Talks.
Yeah, thank you, Captain Smart. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good to have you. Chuka Maduabum, CFA, is a senior investment professional at Uhuru Investment Partners, a private equity firm that is focused on investing in businesses across West Africa. Chuka is a seasoned investment professional, having worked at best-in-class private equity firms such as Africa Invest, Capital Partners, and Kaizen Venture Partners. He led mergers and acquisitions and financial advisory transactions at PricewaterhouseCoopers. He has a master's degree with distinction. So Chuka is EFICO in financial analysis and fund management from the University of Exeter, United Kingdom, and a bachelor's degree in accounting from the University of Lagos here in Nigeria. Chuka is a CFA charter holder and a chartered accountant. He is the vice president and vice chair of the board of governors of the CFA Society Nigeria. He also sits on the board of some reputable companies in the financial services and consumer-facing sectors. And today with Chuka, we're going to be talking about how to set up sustainable businesses. I'm sure it's something you should be interested in. We'll begin that discussion the moment we come back from this very short break. Please do stay with us.
We are professionals. We are impact-driven. We are CFA Society Nigeria, a member society of the CFA Institute Global Network of Societies. Our mission is to promote the highest standard of practice in the Nigerian financial services industry and provide a vibrant community for our members. The CFA Charter signals the holder's commitment to professional excellence. As thought leaders, we collaborate with stakeholders to ensure adherence to ethical standards, better education for professionals, and to build market integrity. We are the leading voice for advocacy in the finance and investment industry in Nigeria. To partner with us or become our member, visit us at cfasocietynг.org for more details. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
So welcome back to Money Talks here on 92.3 Inspiration FM. Chuka Maduabum is the guest on the program. How to set up sustainable businesses is what we're talking about here today. Of course, from the profile, you know that Chuka qualifies.
Thank you, Captain Smart.
Yeah, he's somebody you should listen to. So Chuka, let's get down to business, really. There was a viral video on social media. I've seen the video countless times. He was by a preacher, a very popular preacher who is based here in Lagos. He was talking to his audience and he was telling his members that if their parents actually send them to school from the micro businesses that they were doing, like maybe frying akara, selling akamu, vegetables, food items, mama put, and all of that, that those and that the children now come out and they choose to get employment in big corporate and allow those businesses to die in the hands of their parents, that it's not a good thing. He said, look, if they fry akara to send you to school, you should sustain that akara. Go to school and come and modify the akara business. Don't leave it to die. So the question is, Chuka, if such a child wants to upgrade and grow that type of business like akara, akamu, vegetable and all of that, how does he or she begin to make that business to become formal and make it sustainable? Is it even truly desirable or profitable investment, of resources to do so? After I sent you to school, like you that went to Exeter, you can't tell me saying I won't concern.
Yeah, I can relate to that question, but basically, I'd like to see the video. To be honest, I've not seen it. Yeah, but it's a dilemma that many family businesses face. So whether it's akara or manufacturing of products, different entrepreneurs face that problem. And one of the things that we need to consider, that's before answering your question directly, is there are two sets of people, right? The kids that are not interested in running the business and those that are interested in running. The reality is that the life of an entrepreneur starts from when he wakes up to the time he goes to bed. And the kids see this, they see what their parents go through, right? And some of them may say, well, this is not for me. And the truth is, if you force someone or cajole someone to do something he doesn't have a passion in, he'll struggle. He may succeed, but it will be difficult. The odds would not necessarily be in that person's favor. Now, we take it to the person that is interested. Now, if your child is interested in running the business, then that's good. But the question is the person ready for it? And that takes me back to a conversation I had several years ago. A friend of mine introduced me to a South African, and while we were talking, the South African said he wanted to buy his father's business. I said, great. Then he said his father says he has to pay. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, his father has to pay, and that he has to, I think he was saving for 3 years in order to raise the money. Either that or he was going to take over the business and pay the dad in 3 years' time. I can't remember. And at that time, I thought the South African, that his father was really selfish. Now, I ask you, Captain Smart, who do you think is likely to succeed? The person who is given a business on a platter of gold, or the person who brings something to the table, sacrifices cash to buy the business?
I should think it's the person who put money down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who got an investment in cash. Yeah.
Exactly.
He has something to protect.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. So he has a skin in the game. Now we bring it to, okay, if the person has invested in a business and, is ready to run the company, the question is, what does he need to do? One of the things that I've seen from my experience working with family businesses is that the kids who work in other companies or established organizations tend to bring something to the table because they have outside experience. So the first recommendation is working for, the same large corporates that they said they shouldn't work for.
Yeah.
Work for the large corporates, work for the professional services firm, consulting firms, because those organizations, they have processes in place, they have structures, they have models for evaluating performance, they have documented policies, and these are the things that you typically bring to a family-run business. Family-run business, the processes are in the person's head. So, well, I'll come to that later, but the first step is getting outside experience. That way you bring value, you bring a different perspective to the family business. The second point is understanding the different moving parts in that organization, end to end. Don't just come in and become the MD at once. You need to work in the sales department, in the production department, all around. And I'll use myself for example. I ran a chain of restaurants, and I came in with certain ideas based on research, based on and as well as a customer perspective. However, when I resumed with the staff, so one of the things I did was I went to the restaurant. I resumed at 5:30 in the morning with the staff, with those that were cooking, receiving products and all that. And at 7 o'clock, we started serving customers. And I was also on the cashier point. And guess what? One of my classmates saw me and he was shocked. He had this funny expression on his face like, how did this brilliant guy come to serve as a cashier?
Yeah.
But that experience really made me value the customers. It made me value the staff, especially those that are, that cook the food in the poor conditions. The kitchen can really be hot. Anyway, so I won't go into much more details, but it helped me to understand the business better and make decisions. So the expectation is, if you want to be successful, you want to go through the ranks and understand what is happening end to end. The next step is building the team. Now, if you understand the business inside out, then you get to know who can do what is required in each job function. And that way you can evaluate the team. Now, most family businesses, the entrepreneur is the one that does everything. And the staff he has around him, they are usually underutilized because he does not want to take the risk of allowing them to carry out certain sensitive tasks. So, the value you can bring from working in, a big corporate is actually identifying the gaps in the team and either giving the team the opportunity to step up, give them much more responsibility. That way they can step up, and you trust them with certain decisions. Now, if you see they don't have the capacity to deliver, then you can now bring outside resource to help. But that can help create a sustainable business.
Okay. Wow. Because I was even going to talk to you about trust issues there. Maybe that's why that entrepreneur will not actually allow people to. So he's the cashier, he's the manager, he's the marketer, he's the supplier, and all of those kind of stuff. So let's talk about scalability here, Chuka. As somebody who is a private equity practitioner, I want you to talk to us about those things that can attract you to actually invest in a small business that is scalable. Tell us those things that can make a business scalable. Can a small restaurant, like the one we talked about now, can a small restaurant or grocery store, can it scale up, for instance?
Oh yeah, most businesses can scale up. What matters is the policies, the processes, the systems, and the people you put in place. But starting with the first one, in terms of what attracts one to such businesses, it's basically the first thing is actually the founder. So what is the founder like? Is he energetic? Is he trustworthy? Is he a frank person? And what reputation does he have with his bankers? What is his attitude to business failure? So if some initiatives don't work out well, does he start blaming other people? Does he blame village members? I don't know, but or does he acknowledge there's a problem and he highlights what he did to fix it? These are the things you want to look at. The second is management. Does he have good people around him or solid people around him that are allowed to function? I'll give a good example. we looked at a company, wanted to invest in a company. It's a woman-led company. And we had a meeting with the owner as well as the management team. I think a 2-hour meeting. And everybody spoke. From the chief commercial officer to the chief financial officer, all the executives spoke, and you could tell that they owned their area. You know. Then another company, we met the owner, well, a male-led company. We met him as well as the management team, and he did most of the talking. And we left the meeting feeling that the management team, the value they added to us was making tea and coffee for us. Sorry, no pun intended. But yeah, so you need a very strong management team. It's a that attracts us as well.
That's right. How to set up sustainable businesses is what we're talking about on this edition of Money Talks here on 92.3 Inspiration FM. Smart Uzechi is my name, and I'm talking with Chuka Maduabum this evening. You can join the conversation here. Perhaps you have a question or clarification to extract from Chuka. You can call on the telephone 0817 313 6193. That's 0817 313 6193. That's the number to call. You can also send WhatsApp messages to that number. We have just limited calls to take. We're just one or two, so we can flow with the conversation here this evening. There's also 0700 923 923 923. That's 0700 923 923 923. You can call those numbers, and then Chuka will be taking your questions on the program this evening. So Chuka, let's talk perhaps about the most important thing we talk about businesses, setting up businesses or scaling them up, and that's the issue of capital, access to capital. If we put 10 business people in this room, I'm sure 8 out of 10 of them will say, if you say, what's the biggest issue you have in this business, they will tell you capital, money. Everybody talking about money. So let's talk about raising capital or having access to it. It is always a problem. You know, if you ask many SMEs, they will tell you that. So how can these small businesses scale this hurdle?
Yeah, it's I think one way I would like to look at it is there are external factors and there are the ones within the control, and I'll focus on the ones within the control of the entrepreneur, right? One of them is articulating a very strong business plan or value proposition. Whether you're talking to a banker or you're talking to a potential partner, like a private equity or venture capital investor, you want to articulate your plan. How much do you need? And what are you going to do with the money? And where is the business going to? Where will the business be in the next 6 months and in the next 3 years and 5 years? And that has to be presented in terms of numbers. It's not enough to say the market is big enough. Don't worry, give me the money. Trust me. You will make money with me. No, it's not about that. You need to clearly explain, why your business is going to, let's say, double in 2 or 3 years. If it's going to double, let's say we're looking at revenues. Revenues is comprised of, quantity as well as price. So what you're selling and the price at which you're selling it. Now, if you say it's going to double, what is going to drive the growth in revenue? Is it price increase? Is it increase in the service, the quantity of service you're providing? And where would that growth come from? Where exactly is it going to come from? You need to talk about it in a very clear manner. The other issue is use of funds. Many people come up with a high-level use of funds. Oh, I need 100 million naira. Okay, what are you going to use the money for? Where exactly are you going to spend the money? Is it on machinery? Is it on raw materials? You need to be very, very clear. And the truth is this, not every entrepreneur is financially savvy, but that is where you work with financial advisors and lawyers. You need to arm yourself with these people so that you're able to come up with a very strong business case that increases your chances of getting financing.
These small businesses at this level we're talking about, are we going to be exposing them to financial advisors and lawyers? Where do they get money to pay?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is you seek and you shall find. Make the internet your friend. The good thing is that there are many services online that are modular. They charge you a very small amount based on the size of your company. So there are many SME focused businesses that can support in this area.
Okay, we talked about Mama Put just now and all of that. So let's go back to that conversation.
Yeah.
You expect that these people, so whether it's a mechanic workshop who has apprentices here and there, or Mama Put, with a retinue of personnel working there and all of that, or a shop owner who has salespeople and all of that. How do these sort of business owners build these teams and also lead them as formidable teams?
Yeah, so it's very possible, and again, it's perspective. If you look at your business as Mama Puts, I'm sorry, you may struggle to scale. It's how you look at it, right? What's the difference between a restaurant and a Mama Put? Okay, I don't want to call names before some people get upset.
It's packaging.
Exactly, it's packaging, right? and your vision, if you're a very strong visionary and you're ready to scale, you'll be ready to package. Okay, so
But packaging costs money.
no, it's just a mindset, and it takes nothing to change your mindset. Yeah. So, for example, there's one of the very popular restaurant chains. I won't call the name. It started as Mama Put, right? And yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you manage the team, right? How do you build a team?
Yeah.
You need to look at your team as an extension of yourself. If you don't look at your team that way, then you would not even trust them. So you want to put processes in place. So like I said, that has to be documented. How you manage your team, your HR policies, and performance evaluation. That also has to be put in place as well as tracked. Once you can do it that way, then you'll be able to attract the best people, and you'll be able to motivate your current staff, to execute whatever you want them to do. That way, you'll be able to step back and you can have your vacation if you want.
Okay, one of the things that's going to be very important to this level of businesses will be the supply chain and how to manage them. You have any advice on how they can do this?
Yes, very simple. Well, not very simple. It depends on how you look at it. So we thank God for this era. This is 2023, right? And we have the e-commerce boom. And we have various platforms. So, for example, if you own a restaurant and you want to source, agricultural products, food products, there are online platforms that can connect you to farmers, and they can also provide logistics. They can provide vehicle to bring that product, for a small amount, for a fee. But that helps to reduce the need to have a driver or the bottleneck of having to go to the market or the farm to look for products. Similarly to distribution.
Okay, Chuka, just hold your thought there. Let's talk to this caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for calling.
You say scale. When you say scale, what do you people mean by scale? I just want to know when you say scale. And how does one scale a business? Because you always use big English. Scale. So please explain scale. And thank you for explaining. I really like this program. I have learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So there's another question here. OB has sent in a message on WhatsApp, and OB says, "Good day. Captain took the question out of my mouth. Capital and personnel or employees, which is more difficult to obtain? Also, how effective is cold calling, especially when the mark has been precisely evaluated?" So we have 3 questions from 2 respondents now.
Okay, so I would just let me conclude on the
on
other
your
point I was
points.
making.
Yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So I talked about supply, then the other side is demand. With e-commerce, with your restaurant, you can reach out to much more people than those that work in. So you have the likes of Jumia, Konga.
Yeah.
They enable you they connect you with people that need products that don't necessarily want to come in. So the point is, you have a better opportunity to scale. And that brings me to the next point, which is, we're speaking grammar. What is scale? So scale really means building your business one block at a time. So you have one restaurant. How can you grow it to 20 restaurants, right? And some of these companies that I talked about, these big quick service restaurants that you've heard of, they started as mama puts, and now they have 50 locations. So that is what scale.
Or like my brothers who say, there's this shop here, there is a parking store down the road.
Exactly.
You have another shop the next street.
Yes, exactly. That is scale as well. It's scale. You even has a mechanic. You can have one workshop, and you can if you have a vision to have 20, you have 20, and you now change the name. You call it a workshop, not a mechanic garage.
Packaging comes in now.
Exactly. Yes. So that's what takes you there. Then the other question was about
it's on your screen there.
Okay. Yes. Which one is more difficult to obtain? Capital and employees. To be honest, it's relative, right? It depends on you. Now, if you have good policies, right? If you have structure, if you have a good welfare, right, you're going to easily get good employees, because it's all about motivation and getting them to feel comfortable and being happy working with you. If you give them responsibilities, they would continue to work for you. So that is within your control, to be honest. With respect to capital, it is kind of within and out of your control. Now, what is within your control is, like I said, coming up with a good business case and all that. But secondly, do not reach out to financiers when you are desperate. If you're desperate, they'll run away from you. People can smell fear and desperation. And what some people do, or another way of doing it, is you maintain relationship with bankers and whoever they are. When your business is doing well, you keep them updated. And the reality is, they will keep asking you if you need money. And when you need money, you won't tell them you need money. You'll say, oh, you know what? I think you're right. Maybe I should take your money now. That's the best time to get money from them.
Okay, and maybe the last one here. This person says, Captain Smart, good evening. Very interesting conversation you're having there. Please, can I have your guest phone number? Thanks. I have a restaurant that I was forced to shut down in the interim to do a proper restructure. Staff are the biggest challenge we are scared of because of theft issues. So theft issues, I have actually closed down this one. Just before we go, well, you can go to at CFA Society NG. So go online at CFA Society NG, or you go to www.cfasociety.ng. Or you just go there, you get more details, right? I'll put it on your WhatsApp how you can contact CFA Society Nigeria for the feedback that you crave, actually. So, Chuka, very quickly, we just have a minute and a half left on the program.
Sure.
From where we started, which is these people, they have been trained. Maybe they send them to University of Exeter from going to sell fabrics at Balogu Market, or from one spare parts shop at Ladipo Market. So the guy has gone, he's been exposed to the world, and then he comes back to Nigeria, and you tell him to go to the marketplace, to go and take over the business. How do you convince such a person, to come down from that his high horse to now come and start relating with people that don't have education at his level? Let's cut the guy some slack. It's a difficult thing to do. How do you deal with such a case?
The odds are very low. It's near impossible. He's tasted blood. He's tasted comfort, and you want him to come and relate to people, that he's not used to. He's not used to the environment. He's gonna struggle. Yeah.
So how because the video we talked about was saying, why don't you refine the business? Why don't you modernize the business? Instead of leaving that chain to die with your father or with your mother.
So the reality is that some people are entrepreneurial. I've seen people that go abroad, they come to Nigeria, they identify certain opportunities, and they're like, why isn't anyone fixing it, right? So it has to come from him. One of the things that's one of the things that can happen that can increase your chance of success is when the child is young, you expose him to the market before you send him abroad. But if he's never been to the market or have relationships with such people, seen the business at that level, and he goes abroad, it will be hard for him to come back and get involved.
That's it, Chuka Abum. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this evening. It's been very, very educating here, really. To get more information.